I'm Nick Weddock, and I'm the team leader of Team Dramastic. Our project involves the design of a high-capacity, long-cycle life anode for sodium-ion batteries. As we integrate more renewable energy sources into the grid, the need for a cheap storage technology arises to accommodate the variability of solar and wind energy production. Sodium-ion batteries are predicted to be cheaper than lithium-ion batteries, however have a much shorter lifetime due to the sodium ion's larger size. We will develop an alloy anode that contains one active element, tin, and one inactive element, copper. Tin has a high sodium alloying capacity with a maximum of 3.75 sodium atoms per tin atom with a theoretical capacity of about 850 milliamp hours per gram. Unfortunately, tin experiences large volume cyclings that pulverize the anode and ultimately restricts capacity. It has been shown that using a copper-tin alloy system greatly increases the cycle life for lithium-ion batteries, and we want to try and apply this to sodium-ion batteries. The addition of copper reduces the energy density of the battery. However, this metric is not as important as cost when it comes to grid-scale storage. The system has never been explored for sodium-ion batteries, so the first step is to determine if sodium will insert into the alloy favorably. To do this, we will perform first principles calculations and insert sodium atoms into interstitial sites and then calculate the total energy of the structure. If the total energy remains negative, this process can occur.
I'm Matt Zager, and I'm on the modeling team, and now I'm going to talk you through some of the DFT calculations we are doing. Our goal is to determine the relaxed structure of the sodiated copper tin and the bulk energy associated with it. We are doing this by providing VASP with our initial guesses for sodium insertion sites. VASP will then determine the atomic position within the copper tin unit cell that is energetically favorable.
This is Raj Bajwa. I'm on the prototyping team. After our group did extensive modeling and planning for fabrication, the prototyping team went into the lab to begin work on our samples. You can see in this clip the prototyping team preparing the electrode deposition solution. Here we are punching out the copper discs that we're going to deposit on, placing them in petri dishes so that we can move them to different parts of the lab. We weighed them beforehand so we would know how much tin was deposited and if anything changed after annealment. And here's our experimental setup. We've got our platinum electrode and electrode deposition solution and our taped over copper disc being electrode deposited. This is Nick waiting for the electrode deposition to happen. You can see the voltage peaks being recorded on the program as we do the electrode deposition. And here we are just removing the copper from the electrode deposition solution, very carefully of course.
You can see the tin is deposited here, but nowhere where the solution wasn't, so the tape prevented it, and then this part was out of the solution, so you had no deposition.
So we're using a razor blade to cut the electrode deposited tin off of the back of the substrate. Now transferring it to a petri dish for storage and evaporating it in a vacuum oven to remove any water or electrode deposition fluid still left. And here we are moving the samples to an alumina boat for annealment for 20 hours. Annealing and storage of the samples was done in an argon-filled environment to avoid oxidation.
top half of the half cell is placed upside down on the bench and the anode material placed inside. On top of the anode material, we put 2 polyethylene separators. Then we add 5 drops of 1 molar sodium hexafluorophosphate in ethylene carbonate diethyl carbonate, which serves as the electrolyte. Cut sodium metal is placed on top of the separators, followed by a stainless steel separator, stainless steel wave spring, and the steel top half of the half cell. After the half cell is assembled, it is placed into the hydraulic crimping machine and pressed at a pressure of 750 psi. After the pressure is released, the cell is inspected for any electrolyte leak. If there is no leak, then the half cell is removed from the glove box for electrochemical testing. X-ray diffraction results revealed that all of our annealed samples were comprised mainly of the copper-3 tin phase, which is the undesired phase. We cycled half cells of a control bare tin anode and several copper-3 tin anodes to evaluate the electrochemical performance of each. The cycling results for the tin anode were consistent with what has been reported in the literature. However, the copper-3 tin anodes exhibited no reversible capacity. Our first principles calculations indicate that at least 6 sodium atoms can insert into the eta phase, giving a capacity of 82 amp-hours per kilogram and a volume expansion of 62.6%. The volume expansion for the 2-atom system is 10% less than the expansion for the corresponding sodium tin 5 phase exhibited in pure tin anodes. This reduced volume expansion may improve the anode lifetime when using this alloy structure. However, further fabrication and characterization is needed to experimentally test the DFT results. A significant amount of research still needs to be done to fully understand the sodium copper tin anode system. In terms of modeling, nudge elastic band calculations can be done to obtain a better estimate of the energy barriers associated with inserting sodium atoms. If first principle calculations were done for the epsilon copper-3 tin phase, those results could be compared to our experimental results. On the experimental side, the next step would be to optimize the processing techniques used to create the copper tin samples in order to obtain the desired eta copper-6 tin 5 phase. Finally, samples of this phase can be tested in half cells to determine its electrochemical performance.